Hey, how's everybody doing today? Swagkage here, and before I get the video started, just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Verve. I'm sure many of you are getting used to hearing about Verve, but for those of you who haven't yet, it's an app made and owned by the team over at Crunchyroll, and acts as a conglomerate, like a sort of hub for a whole bunch of different channels, providing a really wide variety of content, like Machinima, Rift Tracks, Rooster Teeth, and the two that I think you guys are going to be the most interested in, Crunchyroll and Funimation. Crunchyroll and Funimation are two of the biggest anime streaming platforms on the market right now, so on them you can watch just about as much anime as you could possibly consume in one lifetime, and then some. Shows like Boruto, Naruto Shippuden, both seasons 1 and 2 of My Hero Academia, and both seasons 1 and 2 of Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball Super, Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Hunter x Hunter, every single one of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, and more, either subbed on Crunchyroll or dubbed on Funimation. If you click the link in the description, you will get a free, ad-free, 7-day trial of the Verve Combo Pack, and you'll be able to start gorging yourself on all of the juicy content that I've mentioned up to this point. So go on ahead, do both of us a favor, click that link, sign yourself up for a Verve membership, support the channel in the process, and get yourself 7 free, ad-free days of unlimited anime. Thanks, guys. Yo, how's everybody doing today? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video where, if you can't tell, I'm really excited to talk about Boruto episode 30. Don't even remember the title of the episode, but that doesn't fucking matter. This is hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, the best episode of Boruto that has aired so far. Like, oh my god, at the very least in terms of entertainment value. Maybe the writing wasn't, like, up to snuff or something like that, but I'm not gonna nitpick here, because I just had so much fun watching this episode from beginning to end. One really annoying thing that was in it, it was completely unnecessary, didn't need to be there, was while Sarada was fighting the chick who was using Kiba, you know, the twin lightning fang sword, there was this one, like she started talking about how her fucking, like, childhood sucked and how she had a really shitty parent, and Sarada was just like, you're not the only one who suffered because of a parent, and then the other chick was like, well, yeah, let me give you a taste of my childhood, and then there was, like, a flashback to, like, her abusive mom, or some other bullshit, and I was just like, can you please take this out of the episode and just give me a fight I can enjoy without flashing back to character backstories for 2 seconds? And, like, especially such a minor character that I know is never going to fucking return. Like, what is the what's the point? Aside from that, though, I mean, really just, like, nothing but praise from me for the episode. I mean, holy shit. Maybe it's just because of the fact that I'm, like, fanboying, and because I was getting so hyped from the nostalgia produced by seeing Sarada use her Sharingan to weave her hand signs as her opponent does the exact same thing. But man, it was so crazy just seeing Sarada do some Kakashi level ninjutsu copying in this episode, and like you know, there was a nice amount of strategy incorporated into the fight. It wasn't just a whole lot of kinetic non-stop airheaded action, if you get what I mean. You know, there was a lot of planning and stuff. There were a couple things that didn't make sense throughout the fight, like her enemy coating herself in lightning, then like grabbing Sarada by the neck and Sarada not getting electrocuted, or her creating a shark made out of lightning release, sending it into the water, and the shark not electrocuting the whole water. But aside from that, you know, I didn't really have too many nagging issues with the fight. Like, it was fun, you know, there were just a couple things where I was just like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But, like, well, so the thing that bugs me in particular about the fact that the shark didn't electrocute the water is, like, one, it could have served the same purpose if she had just kept running an electrical current through the water, right? Like, Sarada wouldn't have been able to step into the water, and that was the whole point of the shark. She couldn't go into the water while it was swimming around. But, like, if that's the case, then why not just, like, electrocute the whole current? You know what I mean? It would make a lot more sense. And like, that wouldn't bug me as much as it did if not for the fact that they tried to incorporate, like, real ass science later in the fight. Because the way Sarada wins is, like, all of the electricity, or like all of the electric currents interact with the water in some way. I'm not a fucking chemist, so I'm not entirely sure how the reaction happens, but essentially it produces hydrogen and oxygen, which she was able to ignite with a paper bomb in order to, like, one-shot her enemy with like this big-ass explosion. And I was like, well, okay, I guess, but if you're gonna go the whole, like, fucking scientific route, at the very least have the water conduct electricity like it's supposed to. But, you know, again, that's just me nitpicking. It's a very minor, very minor problem. Nothing that, like, knocks the episode down too much. It was just distracting, if you get what I mean. Aside from that, though, again, like, nothing but praise from me. Also, as I predicted last last week, Chojuro came through and fucking bodied all of the other swordsmen. Like, I figured he was gonna do it by using his ninjutsu as Mizukage, but no, he was just using this fucking katana against the 7 mist swords, like these great legendary swords that supposedly propelled the people who wielded them into like legendary status. Like, he was just taking them out with his fucking regular ass katana, a katana that was later broken by the hammer and axe sword combination. I forget what it's called. It's been a while since I researched the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, like I mentioned last week. But yeah, it just like snaps in half, and Chojuro is still just piecing these guys up with it. He just knocks the one girl who's using Nuibari out with the handle of the broken sword, and then like he doesn't even make contact with another one of the people when he takes them out. He just like waves the sword, like the broken blade, right in front of them, and they collapse to the fucking ground. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And you know, when you have this going on while Sarada's just like copying a bunch of fucking lightning style jutsu, it's like, god damn, man. The protagonists really don't have anything to worry about this week. It was just utter domination. Boruto did seem to be having a couple of issues with Kagura, I guess. Kagura is being really edgy this week. He's all like, man, you don't know what it's like living in the shadow of the Force Mizukage. Grrr, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm just like, dude, he's literally the son of Naruto. Granted, Naruto wasn't a psychotic killer, so, you know, you have that. But Naruto was Jinchuriki too, and a lot of people didn't like him at first, and Boruto's pretty much nothing like his dad, really. I mean, like, I don't get why people just have to associate Kagura and Yagura with one another. It's like, it's a little bit silly, but, you know, what can you do? I guess the show's not trying to take itself too seriously, so I won't fault it for that. Speaking of, Shizuma wasn't in the episode a whole lot, and, like, that surprised me because, like, I really liked it, and the couple seconds that, like, he did appear on screen, I was like, oh, hey, Shizuma, you know, my favorite new character. But, yeah, he didn't really do anything, and I was just like, oh, okay. It would have been cool to see him fight Chojuro with Samehada. Maybe he gets some fucking OP shark mode and starts piecing everybody up. That would be crazy. Like, oh yeah, by the way, speaking of Chojuro, like, so he was able to take everybody out with just like the broken sword that I mentioned earlier, and then later on in the episode, he gets a hold of Zabuza's sword, Kabikuri Bocho, and at that point, I was just like, yeah, it's over, you guys. You might as well give up, because again, Chojuro hadn't used like any ninjutsu up to this point. He was just using kenjutsu with a broken fucking sword. So when he gets Zabuza's sword, like, I don't really, like, if I were one of the new 7 ninja swordsmen, I would probably shit myself and run away. Iwabe showed up later on in the episode, and I was just like, well, okay, Iwabe, what, I guess, yeah, sure, welcome, but like, what are you doing here? What are you gonna contribute? I guess he tries to 1v1 the guy who's using Helmet Splitter, the sword covered in paper bombs, but like, I mean, if Chojuro can't handle him, then like an academy student isn't really gonna make much of a difference, you know what I'm saying? Then again, Sarada was pulling off some like high Genin, maybe like Chunin level shit, and she hasn't even graduated from the academy. Yeah, Boruto and Sarada are just like really OP in general. Kagura, by the way, seems to be like far and away way stronger than any of the other 7 mist swordsmen, like Shizuma was hinting at, as a matter of fact, last week. So Boruto's probably gonna have a pretty hard time 1v1ing him, though. If Boruto manages to beat him in a one-on-one match and he's like the strongest member of the 7 mist swordsmen, I'm gonna have a few power issues. I'm gonna be like, yeah, Boruto seems a little bit too strong to me. I guess Boruto's always seemed a bit too strong to me, but I really want him to require help to take Kagura out. Maybe Mitsuki, maybe Iwabe, who knows? Mitsuki's definitely not like academy student or Genin level. He's easily Chunin level, probably Jonin level, if not higher. So, you know, if Kagura loses to Mitsuki and Boruto working together, I wouldn't have too many problems with it. I mean, like, I'm talking about a whole bunch of like of like minor, you know, like nitty-gritty details right here, and you know, like things I'm concerned about. But really, as long as next week's episode is as entertaining as this one, I'll just be fucking in heaven, because like I won't have too much negative to say about the episodes, because really it was just so much fun seeing the Sharingan finally start to copy stuff again, and all of these like lightning jutsu, just flying through the fucking air, colliding with one another, seeing Sarada use hit and run tactics. The paper bomb at the end was pretty cool, though I do think it was a bit of a really easy fix to the problem at hand, but you know, it wasn't anything that I was just like, oh, fuck this whole episode over. So, you know, I don't want to talk myself in circles too much because, like, not a whole lot happened. It was just non-stop action. So there's not much for me to summarize here. So I'll just go ahead and get to my final score. So writing was pretty good. Really no issues with it aside from the whole "you don't understand my pain because of my parents" bullshit that happened between Sarada and the chick wielding Kiba. You know, so aside from that, pretty much a perfect score in the writing. The action was great. The fight choreography was fantastic. The directing was really good. The balance of scenes between Chojuro fighting the swordsman and Sarada fighting her opponent was pretty good. And then you had a little bit of Boruto fighting Kagura in there. You had one scene where Suigetsu is talking to Mitsuki, and Mitsuki says thank you, and Suigetsu's like, oh, okay, that's cool. He learned how to say thank you. And I was just like, oh, just a quick little scene to show that Suigetsu does care about this little kid. I thought that was nice. I mean, really, it was just a great episode. Like I said, far and away the best episode of Boruto that we've gotten so far. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the best episode of Boruto that we ever end up getting, because oh my god, it was just so hype, so full of energy, so much fun to watch. The fights were great. I highly recommend that you watch the episode, even if you haven't watched any of them up to this point. It's really good, a really enjoyable watch, and yeah, that's really all I have to say. So until my next video, I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye. Oh yeah, I forgot to give the episode a score. 4 out of 5. I know I've given it 4 out of 5 before, but this is definitely the strongest 4 out of 5 in the series. So yeah, it's not quite 4.5 out of 5, but it was a little bit close. Definitely a great episode. Go watch it, and yeah, for real, Swagkage out. Bye.